right, let's do it. Let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back here. Don't know why I said it like that. We all know that I am a homosexual. And a lot of you, most of you know how I came to be a homosexual. We know the long and winding tale. I don't need to get into all of that, but a huge piece of my personal revelations was the Lesbian Masterdoc. I've made videos about it. I've talked about this document a lot because it showed me a lot of things about myself that I didn't otherwise know. It helped me personally to understand a lot of the experiences in my past that I've had with men. My attractions, my dating, all of it. It helped me understand them in the context of compulsory heterosexuality versus an actual attraction to men. So because this document was so revelatory in my own life, I've talked a lot about it online. I have also seen criticism of this document online. And the other day I saw this comment. Hey Elena, since you've reacted to the Am I a Lesbian Masterdoc, whose author came out as bisexual later, as far as I know, would you react to the videos Verily Beachy did on the topic of the problems with the doc, especially for bi people? A lot of peeps have probably found the doc from your video, and since it threw loads of bi people into a sexuality crisis, the comments on Verily Beachy's videos are full of them, giving a bi perspective on the doc might be a good idea. I agree. I wanted to make a video about this because I have seen a lot of people saying, no, I am actually bi and this document was not helpful to me, doesn't include me, and invalidated my experience. And so I want to talk about that side of things as well. So I found Verity's video and I thought we could watch it together today to maybe even further help you answer the question, am I bi? Am I gay? What's going on? But before we continue with the show, I want to take a second to thank the sponsor of this week's video, Love Honey. You all know I provide you discounts at Love Honey. And you all know that every time I work with Love Honey, I have a different toy to share with you. For any of you who don't know, Love Honey is an award-winning global designer online retailer of adult toys and lingerie. They have over 20 years of experience in the industry. They use 100% discreet packaging, and they have a 100-day money-back guarantee on their products. 100 days. You can't go wrong. And today I want to tell you about the Womanizer Duo 2. This is a product designed to give you a blended because the Duo 2 offers both internal and external stimulation. But what makes this unique, this offers both vibration and that air pulse technology. So you have two different types of sensation, each focused on the ideal areas. This style of like air wave, air pulse sensation is now the most popular category of adult toy. And it's the most popular category for a reason. And now you can have both at once, controlled separately, I should add, so you can completely customize your experience. So if you want to check out the Duo 2 or anything else on the Love Honey site for yourself, you can use my code ElenaRabbit and get 20% off site-wide. 20% off. Your entire order, site-wide. The Womanizer products are considered premium toys. That 20% off makes a difference. So you can check out the Duo 2 for yourself or anything else on their site. Click the link in my description, peruse, shop, be merry, and get 20% off. All right, let's get into it.
Compulsory heterosexuality is the political institution which enforces patriarchy and men's domination over women. Compulsory heterosexuality presumes that heterosexuality is the natural state of being for all persons, be they male or female. The main trouble with compulsory heterosexuality is that some women are lesbians. The problem we're dealing with today is that some lesbians don't know they are lesbians because they believe that they might still be attracted to men because they were socialized to be attracted to men.
Nailed it! Nailed it, Verity. Compulsory heterosexuality 101. Lesbian who didn't know they were a lesbian because of socialization? One right here.
The Compet Am I a Lesbian Masterdoc was posted in January 2018 by 19-year-old Tumblr user CyberLesbian. It's become a very popular way of figuring out one's true orientation. Even multiple popular YouTubers used it to figure out whether or not they were really a lesbian.
Did I just get a shout out in this video? Is she talking about me?
If someone reading this list is attracted exclusively to men and never to women, then they're probably not lesbians. However, if they're attracted to men and they're attracted to women, then they might look at this list, and if they are bisexual, this list needs to help them recognize that they're not lesbians in order for the lesbians to be able to recognize accurately that they are lesbians.
Yes, exactly. I think that's exactly the question. I guess I want to say that I don't keep talking about this because I think that it's incredibly important that we draw clear differentiations between lesbians and bisexual women, but more because to this day I get comments, messages, DMs from all of you asking me, how do I know if I'm gay? I think I'm bi, I know that I'm attracted to women, but I might be a lesbian, how do I know? And I'm like, I don't know, the Lesbian Masterdoc helped me. And so I'm hoping that this video right now, and Verity's video, Verity? I think her name is Verity, but her username is Verily. Her video will obviously be linked in the description, so you can go watch it in its entirety on your own, but I'm hoping that this video can help for those of you who are trying to do some self-exploration.
I'm not here to say that you can or can't be a lesbian, but I want to make sure that this list shows respect and compassion for bisexual women who will turn to it for help when they're feeling confused about their own experiences and identities.
Yes.
The Compet Masterdoc reassures us being a lesbian isn't only about being attracted exclusively to women. You can be a lesbian even if you're attracted to men, but you prefer and prioritize women.
Yeah.
The feminist model.
An important differentiation that she made in the first 10 minutes of this video that I'm not going to cover entirely here is between defining a lesbian as either someone who is born queer, born only attracted to women, has only ever been attracted to women, it's not a choice, you're gay, you were born that way, the end. Versus, I'm attracted to women, I may have other attractions as well, but I'm choosing to only pursue women, or I'm only interested in women, or whatever it is. People might view those two things as incompatible, but I disagree. I'm on board with both teams. I'm swinging both ways this time around. Again.
So I want to go into these with the intention of figuring out whether a bisexual woman could come to the conclusion that she is a lesbian by reading this document. So let's have a look at this list. There's a lot of stuff in here that sounds like it would only apply to a true lesbian soul. And then there are points like this. You view relationships with men as a chore, burden, or something you must deal with. That might not have anything to do with your sexual orientation. And if you have dated one woman and one man, it could be a reflection of that one woman and that one man, rather than a reflection of your relationship to all men and all women. So many of these things leave so much room to be true for bisexuals, and that is where the problem with this list comes in.
Yeah, she's making a really good point. That a lot of the points in the Lesbian Masterdoc could also be true for bi women, not just for lesbian women. That's true. I think that's part of what's so confusing, just generally. For me, something that's important to note, within my experience reading this document, I probably had a very different experience with this document than somebody who went into it questioning their sexuality. I had already realized I was gay when I found the document. And so reading through it was incredibly helpful for me because it validated and helped me understand a lot of the experiences that I had had in my past that seemed incongruent with my now being a lesbian. I can completely see how you might have a different experience if you went into the document in the midst of questioning your sexuality. So I'm very curious what her take on the different points from a lens of bisexuality is going to be.
Only/mostly being into guys who are gender non-conforming or feminine in some way. Alternatively, the guys I like are always a hyper-masculine man's man. So if you like feminine men, you might be a lesbian. And if you like masculine men, you might be a lesbian.
That's really interesting. That's a really interesting, impossible standard. What do they say about theories? You can't have a theory be proven as fact if it's impossible to disprove, something along those lines. You can't have a true theory if you can't disprove it. A fact can only be a fact if it's capable of being disproven. When I read this document, I did think that those 2 points were strange. I don't exactly have the words for it, maybe Verity will, but something about reading an attraction to feminine men as somehow equivalent to an attraction to women felt icky. Like potential transphobia in there, trying to box people's identities in. Being attracted to a feminine man is not the same thing as being attracted to a woman. It's just not. Verity, help me out here.
If they're in a relationship, you may even start to wonder if it's actually the woman you have a crush on. If you've ever been a bisexual, you might recognize the experience of being attracted to a couple, and it's not an indication that you are a lesbian because you want to a man and a woman at the same time, because this is just a beautiful thing.
That's exactly. It's not an indication that you're a lesbian because you want to a man and a woman at the same time. What could be more bi than that?
Fantasies about men still somehow turn out to be a little bit gay. Maybe you're penetrating him. You don't have to look at his face. Don't want to look at his face. Wanting to a guy's that might mean that you're a lesbian.
Again, this is great because she is picking up on the points in the document that even I was like, I don't know how I feel about this, because personally, as a lesbian, I never, ever, not once, not even a little bit, was interested in penetrating a man. That was never there for me. It just wasn't. Okay, so now we're at the straight version of you. This part, for me personally, felt very true. So I'm really interested to see what she's gonna say, again, through that bi lens.
Thinking that all straight girls feel at least some attraction to women is extremely, unbelievably common to bisexuals. Bisexuals are notorious for thinking everyone is bisexual because we cannot imagine the world otherwise.
That's fair. I kind of think that everyone's a little bisexual. I know, it's not true, I know, but I still kind of think that. I know it's not real. Just let me be delusional a little bit, okay? Let me have this one.
The only men you're attracted to are those who hurt you, harass you, or abuse you. This is describing domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is something that's experienced everywhere, by everyone. To consider this kind of domestic violence to be a sign that you're a lesbian is inaccurate and unfair, and will result in people who are not lesbians thinking they are lesbians, not resolving the actual problems that they have with relationships.
Okay, interesting. I skipped over a lot of these points when I was personally reading it because they didn't feel true to me. And I'm seeing how for somebody who is really struggling with their sexuality and also has these experiences, a document like this could be unhelpful, to say the least.
Like you could live with a woman in a romantic way, even if you can't imagine doing anything sexual with a woman. I don't see how this could possibly distinguish a lesbian from a bisexual. Romantic and sexual attraction may not always align for people, but even then, this has no bearing on your attraction to men.
Yeah.
Feeling like you could enjoy sexual interaction with a woman, even if you can't imagine having romantic feelings for a woman.
So these 2 points I think could be helpful for someone who's trying to figure out their sexuality generally. Again, speaking from personal experience, there was a time in my life where I absolutely could not imagine having sex with a woman. Like I was just like, I don't think so. I don't think that's for me. And I have friends who I remember them talking about like a real kind of feeling of almost repulsion when thinking about sleeping with a woman, who are now like very gay women. And that kind of repulsion was a form of repression, a lack of understanding around what queer sex looks like, all of these things. So I can see it being helpful and potentially important to let people know that if you are feeling like you're attracted to women, but you're unsure about the physical side of things, like that doesn't necessarily mean that your attraction isn't real. It's not at all helpful in distinguishing whether you are gay or bi, which is the point of this video.
Worrying that some of your past attraction to men was actually real, so you can't be a lesbian. Bisexuals constantly...
This is getting sillier and sillier the further that we get into it. Yeah, like she has on the bottom of the corner of her screen here, worrying you are bisexual might mean you are a lesbian. Like, that's so contradictory. It's true. It's like worrying that your past attraction to men was real might mean you're a lesbian, or maybe the past attraction was just real and you're bi, okay. So maybe this document needs to be less of am I a lesbian and more of am I attracted to women? I think I've said that before. Now that I'm saying that out loud, I feel like I've said those words before. I guess my take on all of this is like, and I don't mean this to sound minimizing because I understand that these are big questions for a lot of people. When I think about somebody worrying that their past attractions to men might be real and therefore invalidate their current sexuality, I'm like, so you were attracted to men in your past, like who cares? Not who cares as in this experience isn't important and like isn't a formative part of who you are or didn't hold weight for you, but who cares in the sense that like if you want to date women now, whether or not your past attraction was true, who cares? If you're dating someone or the people around you are the ones who care, if they're the ones telling you that your past attractions somehow invalidate your current identity, that's a them problem. That's not a you problem, you know?
Mental illness as a symptom of lesbianism.
Oh no.
Now we're going to move on from parts of the document relevant to bisexuals to parts relevant to mental health. There seem to be a number of examples which might on the surface sound like signs of being a lesbian, but which are also connected with issues regarding mental health.
Okay.
Feeling numb or dissociating or crying during or after sex with men. This can be a major symptom of abuse or trauma. It could literally just be that the man or the men you're with are abusive. Someone thinking that they are fine and crying for no reason is a complex reaction which shouldn't be reduced to a sign of being a lesbian. You need help.
Okay, a lot of good points. A lot of the symptoms described in this document as like potential signs that you're a lesbian are also potential signs of like serious mental health issues or abuse. See, again, I'm now thinking about this and I'm like, I really read this document from a place of, I have just recently discovered that I'm gay, and this list helped me understand that and helped me understand some things about myself that I never did before. I'm starting to feel concerned that my just open invitation to all of you to like read this document as law and use it to like help you discover your sexuality as well may have been flawed, to say the least.
To start with, it doesn't have a clear definition of what a lesbian is. The author of the Masterdoc rejects the born this way narrative, but says that lesbianism is both nature and nurture.
So for this document to be truly helpful in discovering whether or not you are a lesbian, hard and fast, by the books, no gray areas allowed, it would need to define what a lesbian is. But in the interest of not gatekeeping identity and access to community and all those things, I think that the document doesn't make that definition clear, which I agree with. I am not interested in creating some hard and fast line between what is a lesbian and what is a bisexual person, because I don't personally think that that's helpful. I think that we need room for fluidity and nuance and a vast range of experiences. The problem doesn't necessarily lie with the lack of clear definition, but the problem does lie within not including bisexuality as an answer to some of these prompts. Again, if we were looking at this through the lens of, am I truly attracted to women or not? That's one thing. But to say that these things mean that you are definitively gay versus bi, queer, questioning, curious, I don't know, spicy straight, doesn't work.
In some ways, I feel like the Masterdoc is like astrology or a fortune cookie. It's so vague, just saying like, maybe if a lot of things here resonate with you, then maybe something, I don't know what, that essentially everyone comes out.
Yeah, true. It does feel a lot like astrology because it is far-reaching and vague and can be applied to a lot of different situations.
In a culture which denies any possibility of duality in your attraction, you have to be either gay or straight, then it convinces you to look for evidence that one of your attractions is false.
Yes, that's also, God, sexuality is so complicated. It's so complicated, and it makes perfect sense that we struggle to figure it out when there is so much pressure put on getting it right.
And to be honest, you don't really have to figure out if you're a bisexual or a lesbian. Just live freely. Do what you want. If you don't want to date, don't date. There's much more to life than sexual identity.
Yeah, okay. And that's her ending note. I mirror that sentiment. Like I said, we put a lot of pressure on figuring out our sexuality and giving ourselves a label. And like I've been saying for years, whatever label feels right to you in this moment, that's enough. And if tomorrow, if in a year, if in 5, 10, 20 years, something else feels right, then that's okay. We're allowed to change our minds. We're allowed to change the way that we identify. We're allowed to grow and continue to discover ourselves every single day. And that's how you're gonna figure out your own sexuality. That's how you're gonna figure out what makes you happy. Like Verity said, by going out there and experiencing it. I hope that this was helpful. Like I said, Verity's channel will be linked in my description. She has a bunch of videos about bisexuality versus lesbianism. She has more on the Masterdoc specifically. Her videos are obviously well-researched, well put together, and informative. So I would recommend. And if you're still out there just trying to figure it out, you're gonna be okay. You got this. I also want to repeat a sentiment that I, really fought for back in the day when I was dating a man. Your attraction to men doesn't make you any less queer. We all need to be in this together, okay? There are bigger fights to be had than lesbians trying to tell bi women anything. Like literally anything. Follow me on Instagram if you haven't already, because that's where the magic happens. Another thank you to Love Honey for partnering with me on this video. Remember, if you use my code ElenaRabbit, you can get 20% off site-wide. So you can check out the Womanizer Duo 2 or anything else on their site. And an extra thank you to my VIP patrons. As always, my vitally important producers. You all make my world go round. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!
Women going to bars and making out with girls on the pretense of its acceptability under the male gaze is often the way that women explore their attraction to women for the first time.
Me. I'm the woman she's talking about. It was me. I'm the problem. It's me.